everyone. Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we're doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer, and tonight's featured guest is Namor Cosplay. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I am doing really well. Again, thank you for coming on to be part of this podcast series of mine that I've been doing for a while. So, before we begin, I gotta ask, what made you want to come up with the name Namor Cosplay?
Well, it's actually Namor Cosplay. Namor is the Submariner. He's a Marvel
Namor, okay,
character.
thank you.
And I only do well, not anymore because I said Icarus, but I've only done Namor cosplays because that's all I want to do. Minus the little Icarus side turn, but so the domain was available, so I figured I'd jump on that. So and take that for myself. So which was great because I only do Namor. So
I mean, I can even see you're wearing his outfit tonight as well.
yeah, I always like to come to these things in costumes. I'd be like, why not? This is his all new Invaders look. I actually just did a shoot with it this past weekend that I'm really excited to share the photos where we did an Invader shoot with Nomadic Cap, Jake the Nice Guy, and ENG555. And the Invaders are like the World War II team back during that era. It's like Namor, obviously, Human Torch, the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond, not Johnny Storm, and Winter Soldier and Cap. And then obviously Toro and a bunch of other characters, but we didn't have all those people. So
nice. So what made you want to cosplay as Namor, the Submariner?
Well, he's my favorite character of all time. And a lot of it was I spent so long not cosplaying him simply because of body image issues, because for the most part he's shirtless. So a lot of that is, present. You can't really get around that. So a lot of that was just my own personal grievances with my own self. And then once I did my first one, I was just like, why am I going to stop? Because I want to do the Phoenix 5. I want to do all the Invaders. I want to do, A, B, and C. Like I want to do all these cosplays. And plus it's also great because I have like a very obsessive personality. So, sometimes I'd started cosplay in the past and I wouldn't finish it because I would just be halfway through it. I would, think of something else I want to do and stop when there's like a really tough point. But I think when you only do one character, it really kind of sets yourself a boundary. Because if I'll have like like, oh, I want to do this, but like, let's not. Like you have a certain character you're only doing. So minus the only exception was I just did a cosplay for Icarus from the Eternals. And that was just because I'm obsessed with the Eternals. And I was like, I kept watching the trailer. I was like, I gotta do this. I love this character. And I just spent the entire month of September doing him, and I just released him. So
Nice. So, now how long have you been cosplaying for?
since 2015.
Pretty good
Yeah,
timeline there.
yeah. Since 2015, I did the Punisher for LA Comic Con, and yeah, it's been progressing ever since. Usually, I've only done like one big cosplay a year. Like I've done like Aegon Targaryen. I've done who else? I can't think. Ultimate version Hawkeye. Just like a bunch of other ones. Homelander, but during the pandemic, I needed something to do. And first it was Namor. I did his black armor, and then just kind of spiraled out from there. Because like this is fun, and this is actually keeping me occupied, and it's giving me something creative to do that isn't just reading or binging shows and working, and it's like something. So I kind of just fell out, and now I have I think 4 now going on 5 Namors, and now Icarus. So it's been a year. It's not even. It hasn't even been a year. Well, actually, no. Technically, I started my first Namor cosplay this month last year. So it's basically been a year. So it's been quite the year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, with your main cosplaying being Namor, have you cosplayed his original look when he was first introduced in the comics?
Yes, I've done the Speedo. It was a little bit of a like a last minute decision because that was the one when I started to do him where I was like, I'm not gonna do the Speedo for a while. Like everybody does it. Like I want to just do all the other because if you look up Namor cosplays, like you'll see mostly the Speedo, and I love this character, and I feel like there's just so many amazing costumes that have never been cosplayed before of him. So that's what my goal was. But ironically, I had a shoot the day of my physique competition. So obviously, I was going to be the most cut, the most dehydrated, the most best of I'm going to be looking ever. So I was like, well, it's now or never. And if I don't like it, I just won't post it because obviously, you're really just exposed at that point. There's no armor to cover it. So I made the Speedo in like under an hour, really quick, and
Yeah,
then
I'm looking. I just typed in Namor Cosplay, and
yeah.
your picture was the first one to show up.
Yeah, that's the thing too. So I was thinking, once I was like got to, it's like, once he gets into a movie and someone wants to see a Namor cosplay, like, I'm gonna be the first to pop up. So I'm pretty proud of that. So if he ever gets in the movie, that's the real
I
question.
mean, it would be nice if he get, with all the, all the different Marvel Cinematic Universes now. I imagine sooner or later we are going to get a Namor in a movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. So
Yeah.
he said there's like 31 projects in development. So he's got to be one of them. He's pretty popular. Or
One of
no,
these days.
he was pretty popular. So.
So you said your first con was LA Comic Con?
Yeah, I call that my home base con. I've gone to it mostly every year except for 2016. I didn't go because I obviously wasn't because I was out here in LA my junior year in college in 2015. So that's why I went there. Then 2016 I went to New York Comic Con and that was Ultimate Hawkeye and
That's a pretty big con. Same with LA Con too.
yeah, it was cool too because my friends and we got to sit in on the Defenders panel and Iron Fist, even though we didn't know that'd be terrible. And
Yeah, I don't think no one's a fan of the Iron Fist Netflix show. I think it kind of killed the Marvel Netflix universe.
yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, then I went to LA Comic Con after graduation, so it's like my first year out in LA, living here, and then obviously the year after, nothing to the pandemic, but it'll be my first con back, which I'm really excited about. It's like in December, so and I've been making this new Namor, obviously, since August for this con. It's like kind of like my big accumulation of like a year of cosplaying Namor because it's very specific and it's like it's from the comics, but like I always like to do with my cosplays is I put my own twist on. I like realism, figuring out what's real, what can be added, what can really elevate it. He's a king. What's regal? What can I do, like tiny detail wise, to make it feel more regal than just like carbon copies? Because I think it's like a thing with cosplay is like you can have this in the comics. You can have the same costume drawn like 3 different ways because of the artist, and I feel that's the same way with cosplay. So I make my own version of how I think it'd look if it was ripped out of a page. So yeah, I'm doing that. That's why I was like I need 4 months because I don't want to do the con crunch. That's especially with this one, it's very special to me. So I don't want to be at the end and be like,
You wanted to give yourself some time to get this all done before a con.
yeah, I'd rather have it sitting in my apartment than just being like at the end, just like running around, going all like Joanne's all over the world and finding one specific like detailed thing. And although I was progressing really fast and in August, and that's when I was like, okay, I think we can take a break and do Icarus real quick. So I did Icarus very fast. I did him in like 3 weeks. But when I say 3 weeks, it's like it was literally like every waking moment I wasn't working or anything I was spending on making him. So I was very antisocial. I said no to plans. I was like, I have to get him done. I just got to get, because I have to get back to my Namor. I didn't want to spend time jillying on this one. I was like, I'm doing this, I'm devoting everything to him, and I got him done. So now we're back. I took 1 week
Nice.
off to move, and now I'm back at it. So I always say like I'm gonna take a break after I make a cosplay, take like a month off or a few weeks off, but then I just get so excited and I'm just like, oh, but I want to, because I have so many one I want to do, and it's just like, well, give yourself a week and then clean up and go back at it. So
Now, a question I always usually ask about cons and everything. What advice would you want to give to a first time con goer, whether they're going to go to the con to cosplay or whether they're just going to just go in regular clothes and just see what it's like?
um, I'd say just take it all in, really. I remember I went to my first con ever actually. It was the Punishers, so I was already cosplaying when I first got there. I was just very excited to. It was interesting because everyone wants photos and videos. Like, oh, it feels like a rock star kind of. So I think just take that all in, and also, just I think one thing I really love about cons is, um, finding stuff you can't find anywhere else, kind of hunting for things, and um, I would just say always just like keep your options open, and everyone's nice, so you can talk to people and ask for photos and go feel bad. So I just enjoy it really, and just kind of see everything. And you don't need to go to all the panels if you don't want to. I mean, I didn't really go to anything, so I just kind of bought stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same question. For those who are thinking about going to their first con and they want to go to New York Comic Con or LA Comic Con, what advice would you want to give for those who are thinking, oh, I want to go to a very big con for my first con?
Um, I would say I'm very organized, so I was very on top of New York Comic Con because we went there specifically because we knew everything that was going on. We knew we were going to see Defenders at minimum, and we were gonna, we had pictures with John Bernthal. Like my three friends and I were all Punisher actually to meet John Bernthal, which is kind of cool. So I like spray painted everyone's vests and stuff, and we got that go. I just say, if you have a certain goal of what you want to do there, I would say just plan ahead. Like we made sure to get in line early, like in the morning. So New York Comic Con is nice because if you get in the line early in the morning, then they'll give you some sort of pass or something, so you can go about doing the cons before like the panel at night. I don't know if that's how it is now, but that's how it was in 2016. So because like we got in line for Defenders at like I don't know 8 maybe, and then we were there for maybe like an hour or two, and then they said, okay, you're in, you're good to go for the night, and we just go explore. But yeah, I mean, also just go have fun, really, and just go explore. So
Nice.
yeah.
Now, on the topic of your cosplays, this is one question I always ask, and everyone always has a different answer. Um, ever had a cosplay mishap, whether something ripped, tore, broke, snapped, or just fell off while you're at a con or a photo shoot?
Yeah, all the time. My my poor broken trident is still has to be fixed. I was like in like say like knee level in the ocean, and the trident down, and then like a wave came and like knocked it, and part of it broke. The trident head's fine. It took a little damage, but it's nothing major. I just been too lazy to not that's the wrong word. I've been too busy to work on the trident because that's something I can fix within a weekend versus like the big cosplays, which just takes all my attention. Um, I mean, a couple times. Yeah, I mean, sometimes with I'm actually fixing it for my current one I'm making right now. Is like with my black armor, it has like these straps underneath. And one time we were walking around, like there's like a small little like hill I jumped down from, and like one of the straps broke. But it was made out of foam, so now I'm using um like this vinyl wrapped in like Warbler or whatever. I'm planning for it just so it's more firm. So yeah,
Nice.
so that's not these gonna be it's helpful for like I've never actually worn one of these at a con before, which is kind of weird to think because my first cosplay I ever made for Namor, it's never gonna see the con floor. because it's been on so many photo shoots that it's just like it's you don't want to bring that on the floor yet. So,
it's kind of the one it's kind of those one and done cosplays.
well, it really wasn't because I did it like I think like 4 shoots with it. But like you walk around with 3 or 4 shoots, it starts to take damage, especially when gets salt water on it or everything, and it's just yeah.
I
But yeah,
mean, it, that sounds fair, and it sounds like you definitely test out your cosplays when you do like the photo shoots at the ocean and stuff.
yeah, you always like I sealed it with like this like liquid rubber actually like this that's because it's like this black it's like flex something that's like but it's
Flex
black.
seal, like Flex Seal.
So yeah, I instead of like painting it, I well painting the base. The base is all flex seal because it's black, and that's and then I obviously like rubbed in different colors for like texture and stuff. But the base of it was black because I was like, oh, it's gonna be in the ocean. Rubber will be great. So yeah.
That's actually some good advice for anyone who wants to do like an Aquaman or a Namor or any kind of photo shoot out in the ocean. I think Flex Seal sounds like it would work on certain material. Now, does it work on all kinds of materials or just certain materials?
Um, One thing though, I will say about Flex Seal is it is a pain in the ass to do anything with. Um, well, with gluing, it doesn't take glue. Like I had to go back and like Dremel some of the Flex Seal off so I could, put some glue, like super glue on it. The Gorilla wouldn't even stick. Like it was just, I guess it's rubber, so it wouldn't adhere. So
Jeez.
not using it again, but if it's like the final thing, there's nothing you want to put on it, I definitely recommend it. But if you want to add details, no.
Duly noted. Now you said you worked in quite a few big project cosplays. What would you say your biggest and longest project was for a cosplay?
Um, it's either Phoenix 5 or Icarus. Those are my 2 big ones. So the Phoenix 5 was I'd say all my movies are pretty big. They usually take me like 2 months usually, but the Phoenix 5 I was really proud of because it was very different because it's like it's big and it's all like gold vinyl instead of foam. Well, it is foam underneath, but like it's wrapped in a vinyl, so it's like this shimmering like mirrored gold. So that was something I'm really proud of. But it was also interesting to work with because you know it's you can't fix stuff like everything has to be perfect when you're placing it together because you can't just like put something in between it or like quick fill or something like that to fix little mistakes. So that was hard. But Icarus, I'd say actually is the craziest one because I don't know if you've seen Icarus's costume, but it's so fucking detailed.
Are you talking about the one in the Eternals movie or just in general?
The Eternals movie.
Okay,
Yeah,
Icarus.
well, because I made that cosplay recently, and it's when I said I was gonna do him, I was like, okay, if I can draw like by hand the front design because it's so complicated, then I'll do it. And so I did. It took a few hours, but I got that down because everything you see, that's also another thing that cosplay is everything in it is handmade, hand painted, hand drawn, like hand carved, like
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I
yeah,
mean, this is like that one, right?
yeah, that one. And I got that on my
Jeez.
Instagram. So everything's hand painted because another thing is too is like all the gold lines. Um, Apparently on Amazon or anywhere in the world there isn't a gold like paint pen that is like yellow gold. All of the gold paint pens are like the brown gold. So I actually had to use a paintbrush to paint everything, like a really tiny paintbrush, because
Ouch.
no one sold a yellow gold pen apparently. So and I bought like that's why I was like pissed off. So I bought like 5 different gold pens on Amazon. I was gonna test them and return which ones didn't work, and I returned all 5 of them because they're all not what I wanted.
They
So
weren't they weren't the color you were looking for because this is like a specific type kind of gold.
yeah, it's a yellow gold, and all of them were like that browner gold. So I had to paint everything by hand with like a little paintbrush. So I was very proud of that because it was very meticulous.
How long did that take you to paint all those individual golds on the suit?
Hours. Very, I mean, I don't know about because there's just so many lines, and it's like little by little, and everything too is like all the lines are also carved in as well because it's made out of Warbler, So I heated it up and like, used like a clay modeling tool to like carve in the lines. And that took forever. So that was like a whole day excursion.
Jeez.
So
Now, what is one cosplay that you have not done in so long that you would love to bring back?
I would like to eventually down the line maybe like bring back Ultimate's Hawkeye. Because I made that with like it was actually made by my girlfriend's mom at the time. So I still have it. It's very intact. It's lasted all these years. But the front definitely needs, it's like very, it's the Hawkeye symbol, like the purple thing in the front, but it's made out of like a big piece of foam and colored purple. It's very, you know, early days of cosplay. So I definitely like to update that, especially with like, he has like the mask. I don't know where that is. And plus it wasn't that great anyway. So I definitely have better masks and stuff, but I think it's pretty solid. She did a pretty good job making it. So I definitely like to do that again down the line. So
Nice.
yeah.
And you already answered my one question about the one and done cosplay. Another one, what are your thoughts on thrifting, especially if you're a cosplayer on a budget or you're wanting to get into cosplay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, you can always go and find stuff. I mean, personally, I don't do that because I'm very particular about what I want. So I don't want to spend time running around looking for something particular. I like to make it myself. Everything all my cosplays are made by me. Um, the only times like I will find something on Amazon or something is if I like a design of like a shirt or a pair of joggers or something, and I'll just like cut that out like the pieces because it'll be like, oh, there's like a shirt with like maybe like something like this like line design, and I'll cut that line design out and then put it on a certain fabric I want. Like this fabric is actually like it's actually pretty expensive. It's like screen printed fabric. It's like raised. So I
That almost looks like leather.
Well, it's hard to tell because I got terrible lighting because one of the lights is out. But you can see on Instagram, but it's like raised like printed like it's a design, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, I make everything myself because like when I did my Aegon Targaryen cosplay, obviously the girl's mom who I was dating at the time, we weren't together, so I was thinking, hey, can you make this for me? So I went and bought a sewing machine and I learned by myself and I've gotten better ever since. So I like to make everything myself because I'm just very picky about what I
No,
want.
hey, there's
Um,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no, yeah, I love it.
That actually brings me to a question I don't think I really asked. Any advice for any cosplayer who's thinking about wanting to make their own cosplays and not like buy a pre-made one?
Um, I definitely would say for myself, don't overextend yourself so early. And one thing I always do, I guess would be great advice. It's worked for me. Is every single cosplay I make, I always try to learn one new skill each time I do it. Like with Icarus, it was Warbler. Like with Phoenix 5 was the vinyls. Like it's just everything. I try to like learn like a new skill, a new material, just something new, so that way when because what I can do now, I could never do in 2015. I mean, and there are times when I've overextended myself with cosplay where I get frustrated because I was like, I think I can do this, and then you can't do it because you just don't have the skill set yet, or it's just something doesn't work out. And so definitely take your time with yourself. That you don't have to start small, but just like know your limits.
That's
But
I,
don't be afraid to like go over a little bit. But just
but
don't be like try to make some super complex Warbler armor never having done it before because I can't even do that. So
no, I mean, and plus, there's also you can also the internet's your best friend, and also there's cosplayers like Kamuya Cosplay who has how to advice on how to like use Warbler and EVA film and everything.
yeah, YouTube is you're gonna be your best friend and just try to find what you're looking for on there. Most of the time, like especially like Marvel characters, you're gonna find someone making that exact cosplay that you want. So
Oh yeah.
except for Nemo, obviously. That's all me.
I mean, even your most veteran cosplayers, the cosplayers who've been doing this for 10 plus years, they're always learning something new as well.
Oh yeah. I
Because
mean,
because there's always going to be some kind of new technique that will come out to where later on there'll be like a machine that makes the cosplay for you. You just have to type in your height, weight, whatever, and there you go. 10 hours or so, you have a fully fully finished cosplay.
Yeah,
I'm just
everyone
saying.
3D prints now. Like, I wish I could do that. That'd be really nice.
I'm just saying, with how long how with how far cosplaying's come, I give it like 10, 15 years or so before they have some kind of giant machine that just makes the cosplay for you.
They kind of do. Some people will screen print like a whole, or not, or 3D print like a whole Iron Man.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that, and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's really impressive. So like, some people just do that. That's out of my price range, but
Now, do you have like any cosplay or horror stories or funny stories, experiences you'd like to share, like over the years, whether it's like, at a con, getting ready for a con, stuff like that?
I don't know if it's a horror story, but it kind of set me back a little bit. Was actually my first con at LA Comic Con. I actually didn't have I didn't really have an cosplay Instagram at that time. I got it this year. But I guess someone from the con like took a photo of me as the Punisher, and they posted on their Instagram page. And someone commented was like, "Isn't the Punisher supposed to be muscular?" And I was, I'm athletic, I'm very lean and stuff, and I wasn't like jacked at the time, but I was athletic and muscular and whatnot. But that kind of, I think that's why it took me so long to do Namor's, because I wanted to do him, but I was like, I'm not at his level yet, and I did feel at his level this year, and I was very happy I did it, especially because when I do him, it's almost like in sync with my physique competition. So when I do these and I get these done, it's usually I'm at my peak, like current, like the best I'm looking at right now. So that's been very helpful. So it's like been a nice synergy this past year, because I've done 2 competitions for physique and both have had shoots right after. So definitely best I can be.
And I think people really need to realize, I mean, like we said, how that one person commented, "Oh, doesn't and that's kind of on the topic of gatekeeping, like, cosplay is for everyone, cosplay whoever you want."
Yeah,
And I know there are those cosplayers out there who, you know, they will work out and do all this stuff to cosplay how the character looks specifically. Granted, you're not going to get super buff and be able to cosplay someone like Thanos
yeah,
or the Hulk, but
yeah. Even sometimes like because there's like anyone can be a bodybuilder and put themselves in a speedo and be Namor. So I like to set myself apart from that with my creativity. Because I try to that's why I start with like all the complex stuff. Because I do physique, so it's a little more not bodybuilding, but it's like the other thing. So it's above average, but so I just try to do that. And to be honest, like, what's been great is like um, is because of like the Loki show, I think, or whatnot, is everyone's been saying variants in the cosplay community recently. So I think that's really great because someone can be like, oh, I'm this variant, I'm a Loki variant, or I'm a Thor variant, or something like that. So I think that's been really great positive in the community recently because
Oh,
everyone,
most definitely. Yeah, like you said, with shows like with What If and Loki, people can now cause. I mean, even before those shows were a thing, people were already like wearing casual outfits or outfits that didn't match the character. And but
yeah,
you know who it was. It's just they were cosplaying their own version. But I feel like shows like Loki and What If kind of let people say, hey, I can cause my own version of Loki and you know do whatever I want, kind of thing.
yeah. Personally, I never experienced like these going other points. Like I never experienced gatekeeping before because I think if anyone does have the gatekeeping mindset about a character, I think that's ridiculous because it's like it's cosplay. We're all doing creative stuff because we love the character. I don't think anyone, no matter how big of a following someone has, they don't own a character. Because at the end of the day, like no one's making money off of this for the most part, and we're also average people who play dress up. So,
I
um,
mean, there are cosplayers who do have this as a career where they do make the money, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's
at the same time, you're still playing dress up, so don't be gatekeeping.
no, I mean, and
I've
there are,
never, I don't know anyone in particular, but like if anyone does, like, come on now, like we're just having fun.
I
Um,
mean, exactly. I mean, it's again, it's for everyone. And I mean, I know there's cosplayers out there who gatekeep. And those are like the cosplayers have been doing this for so long, and they don't want anyone else to try to get into that hobby because that tension will. That I think they're afraid that attention that they get from everyone will, will go to someone else.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, is like, everyone has a different version of like how they do something. Like, for instance, like a lot of people are doing Scarlet Witch right now on Instagram. I'm seeing it everywhere, and everyone's killing it. First off, and but what's great too is like just they're all doing Wanda, but everyone, from what I've seen, like everyone has had like a certain touch to theirs that makes them uniquely theirs. Like whether it's someone did like an edit, or like the other day I saw some girl like do a Scarlet Witch, but she has like these like wires on her hands, and like the books, like the Darkhold is like floating. I was like, that's what I love. Like
Nice. Yeah.
everyone,
No, I have a friend who did her 70s look from the show with the dress and the boots and the long hair,
yeah,
and she had like the red things in her hands.
yeah.
And it's impressive what you can do with LED lights too.
Like I'm interested to see whenever Namor gets popular. I'm interested to see what other people come up with for him because no one's doing him right now. So it's only
I
like,
mean, give it time until give it time when he's put in a TV show or a movie or his own series. I guarantee, just like with every other comic book movie or video game, before it comes out and when it comes out, everyone's gonna want to just jump on that and cosplay him right away.
yeah, I'd love to see what they do. I mean, because I might not have thought of something, and they do a great job, their version of it.
Oh
So
yeah.
a variant.
Pretty much. Now two more questions before we end this. Any future cosplays you have in mind that you would want to do later down the road, like characters you haven't done but would love to do?
Obviously Namor. I have a bunch of his costumes I'd like to do. Still, I'd love to do his Extinction era look from the X-Men with the blue scales. Everyone's been asking me to do that one. Yeah, probably that one in particular, but a different character I would like to do down the line is Star Fox, Arrows of Titan. Like, he's one of my favorite characters of all time, and I would love to do him.
Now,
No,
Star Fox, he's from Marvel.
yeah, Star
Oh,
Fox.
okay, when I hear Star Fox, I think of the video game character
I
Star
actually
Fox.
have his first appearance in Avengers right next to me. That's
Okay,
that's
that's okay. So this is before. Okay, I didn't know that there was an original Star Fox before the video game character Star Fox for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's actually, well, his real name is Eros, so he's Eros of Titan. But when he joins the Avengers, like Wasp is like, I think your name's too provocative. So he's like, you like this, you get to go around the stars. You're a foxy guy. Why not Star Fox? Dumb shit.
Well, I learned something new. I feel like I always learned something from this series about
Yeah,
different characters.
he's actually Thanos' brother.
I have heard of that, and I remember watching this thing on about characters that haven't been in the MCU but should be in the MCU, and Star Fox was one of them.
Yeah, he's
Someone was saying that he should be in. I think someone said that he should be in What If.
yeah, or he could be an Eternals in like a sequel because technically he is an Eternal of Titan. So.
Hmm.
No.
We'll see.
I would love to see that. So,
Now I guess the last thing is any last minute advice you want to give to those who are listening to this or watching it?
um, just have fun, really. You love a character, just have fun. It doesn't matter what you might like him for like a minute and want to do it, just do it. And just keep having fun, really. No crazy advice, because I just been having so much fun this year doing cosplay, because I feel like I'm in such a greater community, because previously when I go to these things, it's usually with friends, and it's just me doing cosplay, and like we kind of do our things, and we go hunting for stuff like, but now because I got cosplay, I got Instagram, because I wanted to be in the community in the pandemic, and I have this cosplay that's just gonna be sitting in my room if I don't do anything with it. So I kind of got into it, and I've really just done a whole bunch with it. And I met a bunch of people through it, and I, starting to meet people in real life now, which is great because I did a shoot in August with Michelle Waffle, who did Dark Phoenix and Phoenix 5.
Yeah, I interviewed her not long ago, and she
Yeah,
was and her cosplays are so well done.
yeah, she's a really nice person, and it was really great to collaborate with her. Hopefully more in the future. And then we just did my Invader shoot, which was like a big group of 4. So that was really it's like my dream group because I love the Invaders so much. That was really exciting. And now I got like another like Marvel like big shoot in 2 weeks, I think, with like a whole bunch of cosplayers from the area, someone like organized. So like I'm just excited to meet people in real life, and um, you know, everyone's approachable. And it was actually really funny because aren't on the Invader shoot, and we were saying, oh, do you know like so and so, like by the like what their username, like, oh yeah, oh, like no, like Jake the Nice Guy. It's like, oh yeah. Like I thought that was just like so interesting. I like, 'cause, like that's how you refer to them. It's like,
It works.
um, so I'm really excited to share that and keep sharing Icarus. I got a bunch of great photos for that coming out too. I was supposed to be, so
Nice.
I guess that's my advice. Just have fun. So
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing, more Marvel characters. Looking forward to seeing your Star Fox later down the road too.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think that should about do it again. Namor, thank you for coming on for Cosplay Con Talks. Get to know that cosplayer.
of course.
And with
Excited.
your permission, would it be okay if I post a link to your Instagram in the
Yeah.
description below? Okay. So just in case anyone has any questions or wants to see all your other cosplays.
Please.
So yeah, I think that should do it. Again, I am Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cosplay Con Talk. As always, thank you for listening, and until next time, thank you for watching.
Thanks.